continue with the End Zone presented by TiVo, Week 4, alongside Ian Eagle. I'm Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you every week here on CBSSports.com and on your TiVo DVR via TiVocast. The top 5 stories in and around the NFL. And, after Week 1, we were talking about Spygate. We talked about Videogate with the Patriots. And after Week 2, we talked about, wow, they're the best team in the NFL. And now I think we can continue that part of the conversation as we bring in a man who called the game last week, Kevin Harlan, joining us from Kansas City. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. And, you saw the Patriots. You've been around this league a long time, you and I together. Do you see any team in this league right now, other than maybe Indianapolis, that is up there with New England?
Well, as Ian can tell you, they're very confident right now. They have got, I think, a us-against-the-world mentality, and with the existing confidence and the kind of guys they've got on the team right now, and truly a spark in terms of new players they have embraced in their franchise, it has given them, I think, a very good recipe. I don't know if I've seen a team, and Ian can speak to this as well, I don't think I've seen a team with as much star power, as many big names, and as unified a group since maybe the Cowboys of the 90s when they had their great run, San Francisco before that. I mean, this is a very special team.
Well, I think you're right, Kevin, and I think this offseason they were absolutely offended by the fact that they were not in that conversation when you started talking about the elite teams. They made the adjustments. If you give Bill Belichick any reason to bring on the us-against-them mentality, he's going to do it. Then add to it the Week 1 soap opera, and now they've got a full-blown it's us against the world. Yeah. In sitting down with that team, Kevin, with Belichick, any difference in their demeanor, or is it pretty much business as usual compared to previous years going down and chatting with the Patriots?
Well, it's the same. Their off-season was so different because just when you think you've got Belichick pegged and figure out the way he's going to conduct business away from the field, he shocks you, and they go out and they reel in all these talented wide receivers. They tweak a little stuff on defense, and they continue to evolve. And I think that's the one thing that makes them so good. They never rest on what they've got, and they went outside the box and they compiled this team of stars. The feeling we got, and I think Teddy Bruschi probably, said this best, is he said, they took aim with this Videogate thing that happened a couple weeks ago. He said the media and the NFL took aim at not our current team, but all the past teammates. We were offended by that. We've accomplished a lot, and he said that has been part of our rallying cry. He said, but I look around the locker room, this is Bruschi talking, and he says, I look at the accomplishments individually and as a team by the new guys that have joined us, by the guys that have lingered through the years like the Vrabels and people like that, and I see nothing but professionalism. And the other thing, too, he said, that has been echoed, as Ian can tell you with these meetings and the Patriots, is they have such great confidence and belief in the system. And they rely on that. In times of peril, when things are getting tight on the field, this is a New England team that always reverts to what the coaches coach. Yep. And we watched practice last Friday, and they're diligent listeners and practitioners of what they've learned. They probably work as hard off the field as they do on the field.
And now all of a sudden you get a team that is put in a position like they always are to make the right plays, and you've got the players in their spots to just be better than everybody else they play against. And let's not forget, you talked about the star-studded team here. After this week, they get Rodney Harrison back. I mean, you got a defense that's playing so well, and now you bring one of the best safeties back into the NFL.
Well, good point, Jason. And even, let's take that one step further. When Richard Seymour comes back on that defensive line, and he had some off-season knee surgery, but they expect him back mid-season at the latest. I mean, as we all know in watching the Patriots, teams will game plan against Seymour. He volleys back and forth on that line. He's a very tough guy to figure out when he lines up and where he's going to line up from play to play. Yep. So smart, so powerful. Truly, teams game plan almost more for him than anybody else on that defense. And I think that's one of the things that makes this team special. There are very few players in the NFL that you can say that against. Now, you tag onto that Adalius Thomas, who is as versatile a defensive player as in their league, and I don't know how you go at that defense. And we've watched him now for 3 consecutive weeks, not only offensively score 38 points in every game, but now here have this incredible wherewithal on defense, which brings a whole new notoriety to their team.
It's really a shame that Tom Brady can't seem to catch a break. He's just not very attractive and can't really find a mate and isn't very good on the football field. Could the guy get a pimple, something? I'm not asking for a goiter, but just some kind of sign to show us that he's human.
Goiter?
Just
Really?
to show us, Kevin, that he's human at this point. He can do no wrong, Kevin.
Ian, truly, have you ever seen a guy in meetings? I guess more so in meetings, but when he steps on the field on Sunday, and our CBS cameras are always zeroed in on him, he shows such little emotion. He is so
it's
locked
amazing.
in. And there are a lot of things about Brady which impress you. He takes great pride, for instance, in his consecutive start streak. Yep. He really relishes that, as does Peyton Manning and certainly Brett Favre. But it's interesting that the three best quarterbacks in the NFL are the guys that have had these long consecutive start streaks. I mean, let alone the fact that a guy like Wes Welker tells you Friday, he says, whenever I'm in trouble on the field, I know that Brady is going to change the blocking protection or change the play. And so we rely on him maybe more than any other quarterback aside from Peyton Manning in the NFL, which is a thing I don't think Brady gets a lot of credit for, is the fact that, his mind is as sharp as any quarterback in the league. And I would put him up there with Manning in terms of the system in which he plays.
Agreed.
And he can get that team out of a bad play. He can set protections as well as Manning. I mean, he does everything just as well. And for the first time, as Tom told us last Friday, he feels like he's got this incredible arsenal that maybe he's had great quality before, but not this kind of depth at the real important offensive positions.
And he should be able to take advantage of that again this weekend when they play Cincinnati, a defense that is all kinds of trouble. All right, Kevin, thank you very much for joining us and talking about the Patriots and your inside knowledge. We'll see you this weekend as you're doing Baltimore and Cleveland.
All right, Jason, Ian, thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
All right,
Kevin.
talk to you soon. All right, folks, plenty more to come on the End Zone. You could always watch us on demand at CBSSports.com and on your TiVo DVR via TiVo Cast. One last segment to get to, and it's maybe the storyline of the weekend. Stay tuned.